Oh my God, it's been so long. How are you?
Freaking busy, man.
A lot of tattoos, huh?
Yeah, it's insane. I'm doing more shit than I thought I'd ever do, so that's pretty crazy.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. I saw a tattoo that you were displaying of Darth Sidious. Was that you that did that?
Yeah, I did that.
That was incredible. Holy shit, girl.
Thanks.
Damn, you've really improved over the year. I mean, you were always good, but goddamn, that was good.
Yeah, I've done a couple portraits here recently that have been kind of crazy. I'm starting to like dabble in the dark arts of black and gray realism, so it's my thing that I'm working on right now.
I was about to say, speaking of Star Wars, the last time all three of us were talking on the podcast was talking about The Force Awakens.
Oh my God, no shit.
Isn't that
right.
crazy?
That is crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
insane.
It's insane.
You know what that means? We got to talk about Star Wars.
We do, and if we bring up The
gosh.
Last Jedi, I'm really glad my boss isn't watching because he'd be like, "Don't open that fucking can of worms," because
You know
I have
what?
to listen to it every time at work.
I want to hear you guys' opinions. Let's start with you, Xander. Did you see The Last Jedi? What'd you think?
Yes, I saw it, unfortunately. you know, okay. It didn't do it for me. It was
She
okay.
made it.
I did.
All right, let's see if we can split this up here. Go ahead, Xander. We're here. We're listening.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, I'm hoping that when the next one comes out that they answer a lot more questions. And now looking back about it, I remember I talked to you later, Rob, and we were talking about how the movie was just so trollish. It was such a troll movie, man.
It really
Going
was.
from,
Yeah, we did talk
movie.
about that.
going from like the Force Awakens to the last, and going from the Force Awakens to Rogue One to the Last Jedi. To me, it was like going to your favorite restaurant, and one day you visit and you get food poisoning. That's what it felt like to me.
Like, I hate saying this because it's like the worst thing to say, but I went and watched it and I loved it when I left, and then 2 days later I fucking hated it. And I think I yelled at Cameron when we left the movie theater. I was like, "No, you can't say it was a bad movie." He's like, "It was a terrible fucking movie, Olivia. Don't do this to me." And we fought for 2 days about my opinion. And then the next thing I know is I'm like, "God damn it, I fucking hate this movie." And I have a stupid Kylo Ren poster in my house that's from this movie, and I'm like, they made him such a bitch, and now I'm trying to find something else to replace it with because I fucking hate it. Oops. And every time someone comes in that I tattoo, they're like, "So what'd you think of The Last Jedi?" I'm like, "It was a piece of shit. It was horrible, and I hate it." Because I haven't watched a single Star Wars thing since that movie because it put that much of a distaste in my mouth for it.
You know, here's the funny thing. And again, like Xander said, we were talking about it. I disliked it not for the reasons other people like. I didn't care that this guy didn't have a backstory. I didn't care that her parents turned out to be drunks. The only thing that I would agree with the mainstream crowd is I did not like what they did with Luke. That I did not like at all.
Yeah,
no, I have to agree. I think my biggest worry with this film was not only like I felt like I was watching a military film and not an actual Star Wars movie, but not a very good military film with like a lot of political points. But then my biggest thing too was instead of killing off someone who actually did pass away, that would make more sense, they killed off Luke and kept Leia. So for me, there was a lot of like issues that I was having with like the development, like the plot holes, like a lot of like the cinematography of this film was beautiful. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say it was gorgeous because it was gorgeous. But I just did not like it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, visually, the movie was incredible. Like, it looks so good. I mean, even when they brought Yoda back, I think Yoda was also a puppet again. Like, I don't think he was CG. And I loved that aspect. But other than that, the movie was just. It was just lame.
I'm sorry, my 6-year-old's on the other side of here. See, he's right
there. Hey, no, don't worry about it. I'm actually right now like in unintentionally trolling the stream because I'm trying to get it. It's like we can see both of you, but I see more of
Yeah.
Xander than Olivia, so I was trying to fix that. And then we ended up.
Oh, you're good.
And then they ended up showing all the contacts only. So people were hearing you guys talk, but they could see the contacts,
dude.
and I'm like, okay,
Go to bed.
I'm just gonna leave this the way it is. So
Yeah, no, you're good.
yeah,
He came out to tell me he was watching the Iron Giant. And he's like, "What are you doing? What are you talking to?" I was like, "I'm podcasting. I told you this like an hour ago."
Rob, did the streamers just see all my Russian wives?
no. No, they can only see my contacts, and right now,
Okay.
the only contacts on there are you, Olivia, and Chris Kuipers. I don't have many friends. No.
Me neither. I keep to myself. That's all I do.
So, yeah. So the Last Jedi. So, like I said, on one hand, I liked it because I thought it was a one huge troll of a movie, all the way down to the salt on the final planet in the movie. To me,
Yeah.
that was like, I was like, oh my god, this director is in some weird way brilliant. Like the metaphors, and then I did like the opening of the movie. I did like the part where the general jettisoned right into the other ship, the dreadnought. I thought that was a very cool scene. But the whole thing with Luke and what they did, and the fact that he even came to, even if it was for 1 second, people keep arguing, it's only for 1 second. I don't care. Luke never for 1 minute thought about killing his father. So you're going to tell me he's going to consider for 1 second that he's going to kill his daughter's son, his nephew? What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was so messed up.
I was
It was
like,
just
no
a
way.
really, for me, it was just really weird. Like, I took Adrian to go see this movie, and it was his Christmas present. We all took the night off. Cameron had the night off. So we're like, hey, Adrian's on Christmas break. Let's go see this movie. And I knew it was bad I should have known it was bad. Let me rephrase that. I should have known it was bad when my 5-year-old was falling asleep on the theater floor because he was bored. That's when you know a Star Wars movie is bad, is when your kid's falling asleep.
Yeah, that's when you know there's some issues there. So
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I wasn't crazy. I really, sometimes you just need to leave well enough alone, and I'm starting to think that Disney, I think, should have just left this alone. Either that or get George Lucas involved, and that's crazy to say that, because a lot of people criticize how George Lucas directed these films, and I liked The Force Awakens. I thought The Force Awakens was fine. I really liked Rogue One.
Oh, I love Rogue One.
To me, Rogue One's the best one they've done so far since they've been doing it, Disney. And Last Jedi left a bad taste in my mouth because of the whole thing. The middle of that movie was so... And then the political crap. That's another thing. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Does everything need to be politicized now? It's bad enough that politics is at an all-time high in terms of people going in political war. But I go to a movie and I got to see this shit now. All the messages about the animal. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take care of animals. But this is a fucking movie. These animals are aliens. I don't give a fuck about them. They're not endangered. You know what I mean? You know
There's another podcast that I started listening to. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called The Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. But they talk about, like, the biggest things they had with, like, The Last Jedi was, like, the scene where they were, I think it's the political, like, planet where all the, like, rich people are, like, playing craps and shit.
Yep.
Like, that was their biggest issue, was, like, how modernized and, like, weird that was to them, because it was a very big political statement, and it just threw everything off for them. They're like, no, I don't dig this. Like, this is not cool. And I remember Cameron and I talking about it, and I was like, I hate you, because I was really hoping, like, I had seen everything on The Nation being like, oh, this movie's terrible, and all these negative views, and I went in going, okay, this can't possibly be that bad. It's a Star Wars film. And I tried to love it. I really, really did. And then I hated it. Yeah. And now I still hate it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I was going to ask you guys, so what's your thoughts about the Han Solo movie?
You want to take this first, Olivia?
I'm excited, but I'm very, like, hesitant because of what happened with The Last Jedi. Like, I loved I did not love it. I loved The Force Awakens, and I really did thoroughly enjoy that film. Then I had The Last Jedi that I bought all the movies for my kid for Christmas, and I haven't touched them because The Last Jedi have literally, like, put a sour taste in my mouth because of it. And I wanted it to happen, and I want it to be good, but then I'm still, like, really, like, hesitant and kind of like skittish of where this movie might go. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold yet. Like I can't. I'm not. This guy who's playing Han, he's got a tall order. He's got a very tall order to go in there and try and play a younger version of what Harrison Ford has pretty much, sealed the deal. Like, no other person can be Han except Harrison Ford. So this guy has a tall order. And if he does not do a good job, this movie's it's not gonna tank. It's a Star Wars movie. It's pretty much invincible. But he will feel the wrath of God from the fan base. And he will never have a career. If he doesn't nail this, his career is over. Honestly, I'm not joking. It's serious.
Yeah.
His career is over if he doesn't nail this. And I'm not saying that because I don't, I wouldn't take it that far, but I know how the fans are.
We're brutal.
Yeah. It's going to do well at the box office because it's Star Wars. I'm going to judge it when I see it. I'm not sold yet. I'm not saying I'm not impressed. I'm not saying I am impressed. I'm indifferent. After what happened with The Last Jedi, I'm taking a step back a little bit. Now, what I will say is this is separate from the trilogy. And the last movie they made that was separate from the trilogy was really good, which was Rogue One. So that has that working in its favor. But my biggest concern with that movie is whether or not this guy can pull off being Han. And if he pulls it off, it's going to be a diamond, regardless of whether the story's good or not. But if he doesn't pull it off, it's going to be one of the most financially successful movies that absolutely suck.
Yeah.
Outside of Transformers. That's my guess. What about you, Zan?
Well, I mean, okay, so when I saw The Last Jedi, I don't know about you guys, but there was some certain parts in the movie that had a very big Marvel feel to it with this lightheartedness and kind of comedy that they try to push in it, which didn't really feel like Star Wars. And I was thinking, I'm like, they could add that. That would make a little bit more sense for like the Han Solo movie, because Han Solo is kind of like, Han Solo. I'm like, some comedy would be kind of good. I'm not completely sold yet on the actor they chose, because I don't even think he looks like Harrison Ford. But I want to see more, because I mean, honestly, I saw the teaser and I thought it was a fan made trailer. I didn't even think it was real. I was like, is this really legit? And everyone's like, yeah, this is on Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm just like, I think I just still had that feeling of The Last Jedi in my blood, that I was just kind of like, it was terrible, because I wanted to be like really, really hyped, but I wasn't. Yeah. I wanted to be excited about it,
No, I hear you. So we'll see. A couple more months, we'll see. We'll hear the early reviews. I think they're going to be screening it on the 15th of May. Was it? I think I heard. Somebody in chat will let me know.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah, I think it is May. So, all right. So here's now, Olivia. Now that you're here, we can talk about this because. American Gods. So I did see the first season. Did you get to see the first season?
No.
Okay.
I've been really like, I want to watch it, but I love the book, so I don't really want the book to be like ruined for me, because I read the shit out of that book every year.
Yeah, no, I didn't read the book, but here's the funny thing. I started watching the show. Now, we hadn't podcasted in a long time when I watched it, so I totally forgot. Like, the name didn't hit me. What made me remember that we spoke about it?
The man-eating vagina?
The man-eating vagina scene is on the show.
Right.
Guys, for those of you
oh my God.
Do you remember that? Dude, they show it on the show. And I
need to watch this now.
It when yes. Oh my God. So, for those of you who have listened to our podcast in the past, one of our more popular topics was Olivia sharing a book called American Gods and how she read it, and she was telling me and Xander about the story, and it's about these gods that live among people, and they interact with them. And so there's one god, I forget what was her name, the goddess of, do you remember? Oh man, she was
oh my God, I have the book. I mean, I could probably go get it and find it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
No,
she was one that She was, I know she was one of the older gods that was dying off because of like them not worshiping her as much. That's why she did what she did.
And I
cannot think of her name.
And that's essentially what the story revolves around. Is that, you know, the god of there was like a god of technology, and he's on the rise, and the old gods are kind of like losing their powers because people are not worshiping them. Stuff. That's how it is on the show. I don't know if the book's any different. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's the well. Yeah, in the sense that it's like the old gods are dying off because our newer gods are taking over. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So
I have a lizard that's right next to me, and he's head bobbing at everybody. So
oh my god, they would love to see the lizard. Why don't you put him on screen?
This is Echo. He's head bobbing.
Oh, there he is.
He's up in the corner.
That's cute.
That's very appropriate for the podcast.
Yeah,
I have really 3 of them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my other thing that we do. Cameron and I are getting ready we're looking into buying a house, and we're going to be opening up we're talking about it, so it's in like the works kind of thing.
Right.
But we rescue bearded dragons and foster them, and then bring them back up to health, and then find homes for them.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
We had a foster.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have 2 males, and the one you just saw is mine. We have another male that's Ganon from Legend of Zelda, and that's Cameron's.
That's cool.
And then we have Penelope, who's in the back, and she's our foster. When we got her, she was missing half of her tail, 2 toes, severely dehydrated and malnourished, and she's gained weight, started being more active, and she's 6 years old, and she's like half the size of our lizards. It's pretty brutal, but it's a big thing, and it's a huge thing for me and Cameron because we love our reptiles. So we're thinking about opening up like a foster in our own home for reptiles because Cameron and I literally get tagged in shit all the time on Facebook for people getting rid of their animals.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of those pets that people get and they like the idea of having it, and once they get it and they find out responsibility, they kind of neglect it. It's a sad thing. It
is very sad. Like not to throw us off track of what we were just talking about, but it's bearded dragons are like one of the most like, besides like cats and dogs, like people talk about it all the time, but they kind of get thrown to the wayside. But they're like one of the like higher rated like animals that are abused and just kind of tossed around, and it's pretty sad. So we foster some here and there.
That's awesome. So,
yeah, I'm a huge hippie. It's my Godzilla obsession. That's why I have reptiles.
Hey,
so
I can say right now,
what it is.
Nobody in the nation or on this stream right now is going to hate on that. So
I literally named Echo his name because of Jurassic World. Like that's how he got his name. And if I get yeah, his name is from that. So
speaking of which, what do you guys think about that next Jurassic World movie?
It looks dark, and I'm totally pumped for it.
What about you, Xander?
Yeah.
You looking forward to that?
I still haven't seen the last Jurassic Park movie.
It's so good.
It is really good.
I still haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's so good. I have the app, and I play the app like every day. It's that good. I even got the like Pokemon Go version going on. Like
really?
I pre-ordered the beta. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like Pokemon Go but with dinosaurs.
Really? I gotta check that out.
Which I found out Pokemon Go is still a thing. Like someone messaged me the other day.
No idea.
They had a raid across the street from my house. There was like
They were
700
asking me.
cars parked on their phones, and I'm like, "What is that?" My wife's like, "Oh, it's the Pokemon Go." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I mean, even I was part of the whole craze in the beginning, but even I haven't played in a while because I'm playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius like a madman, and which is like my favorite mobile game right now. So, but yeah, it's still a big deal, man. People are playing it like wildfire.
You should come to Brazil, Indiana, and see how bad it is.
I was just freaked out, man, because like someone messaged me and they were like, do you play Pokemon Go? And I'm like, man, I haven't played Pokemon Go since it launched. It was eating up my data at the time.
Yep.
And they were like, oh no, it's gotten better. And they send me like a Discord, like of our town. Like our town has a Pokemon Go Discord server. I'm like,
wow,
really?
That's crazy. Yeah, no, the next, going back to Jurassic World, the next one, it's another movie I'm not, as much as I like the first one, I don't want more of the same, like they're back. I mean, I know the island looks like it's blowing up. I guess at this point I'm just like, how many islands we got here? I mean, I know there's a lot of islands in the world, But how many? I mean, are we gonna have a Jurassic World movie for every island that exists? Are we gonna have a crossover? So like the Jurassic World meets Kong Skull Island.
Oh my
God, that would be epic, and it would make
it would
sense.
explain like the monsters.
It would explain why like T-Rexes get mutated into V-Rexes and shit. Oh,
yeah, and then you've got this
That'd
whole
sweet.
time continuum thing going on.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Call Hollywood.
Get this shit going.
Yeah. So real quick, I know I left because I know I was in the middle of telling Chad about American Gods. I just want to tell you guys real quick. For those of you who remember that podcast where we were talking about it, the man eating vagina scene is on the show, and it actually happens in the second episode or the third episode. So it happens early on. And
so the show doesn't really cut any corners. It just is like, bam, here it is.
Yeah.
Man eating vagina.
Man eating vagina.
Man eater. Remember that? Dude, that was so funny when you popped that off. I was dying, man.
Man, it has not gotten any better for me. I went from talking about man eating vaginas, and I'm a tattoo artist. So, like, I work with, my boss is a man. I'm literally, most from my client, well, not most of my clients, but I tattoo a lot of guys. So I'm, like, stuck with all these guys, and I have just gone from man-eating vagina jokes to just dick jokes all the time. Like, it's all the fucking time. Yeah. Like, I have become that very butch gay man in a female's body. Like, that's where I'm at in my life. And I just make really bad jokes all the time.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but your work is good. My God.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's only been 2 years that I've been doing it.
Yeah,
so,
but I remember
almost
when you
2
started,
years.
you were, like, apprenticing. Now I see, I saw your little clips getting up in there with your little things on your face and the needle, and I'm like, look at her. I'm like, holy shit, look at that.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, when we first started podcasting, I had maybe, like, one tattoo on my forearm, and I've got one on my face, and I've got one on my ankle, and, like, my whole right arm is, like, halfway full of, like, ink, and I'm like, I need more. So, like, I went and my boss, when I got the one on my face, he's like, you sure you want to do this? Like, are you committed to your job? I'm like, yes. And he just, like, tattooed in front on my face, and I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll do it. I don't care. It's my job. You can't even tell that I have it, but it's still there.
All right, let's get with the chat here. Let's see if the chat has any questions or any insight they want to throw in. I know we've been shooting the shit, but it's been a while since we all got together. Now, just so you guys know, for those of you who did enjoy the podcast back in the day when we did it, so we did have a little talk, not all together, but I was talking with you both individually, and we did kind of flirt with the idea of going back to doing it, and I think we're in agreement that after May, it's something we're going to probably start doing again, you know, because I know, Xander, you're moving, so you need time to kind of get your stuff back together. And
indeed, yeah.
And obviously, I'm trying to get back into my regular ETN schedule. But I think it's safe to say you guys can expect some podcasts starting this summer with me and Xander and Olivia back together, because we had a lot of fun and a lot of people liked it, and I don't see a reason why we shouldn't do it again.
Oh yeah, it was.
It's very stress relieving, because then I can come hang out with you guys and not have to deal with shitty people. So, I deal with shitty people all the time, so I'm like, I want to hang out with cool people.
Yeah.
So
I have a question here for Xander and Olivia. What are you guys' favorite kaiju movies?
Oh man.
I would have to say Godzilla 85. That's just my go-to.
My man.
Yeah, I mean
I hate admitting this because it's Adrian's favorite and we like to watch it together, would have to be Godzilla 2000 because he likes the UFO and the
Orga, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot. It's not surprising. There are a lot of Joey. Oh, guys, Joey just messaged me. Unprepared Joey. All right, I'll throw him a message in a minute. But no, actually, there's a lot of our younger Nation members that love Godzilla 2000. You're right. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I find that a lot of younger, Godzilla audience members love Godzilla 2000. Yeah, Steve's young. I don't know Steve. I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing you're younger than me.
Yeah, just had Rob ask my opinions on a live action Gundam movie. I would love to see a live action Gundam movie if it was done right.
That's the
That
key.
would just if it was done right. I mean, like, if they make a Gundam movie, let's just get Del Toro to direct it. Let's just go ahead and just have him do it. I think
that'd be the right
way.
person, because after what happened with Dragon Ball Z Evolution, no, I think you're right. Del Toro would be perfect for it. Here's another one. What is your favorite design? So your favorite Godzilla design? He likes Godzilla 2000. My favorite design will always be Godzilla 84, followed by what Legendary did, because I thought Legendary did their own original design while keeping the integrity of the monster, which is very difficult to do.
I totally agree. There is one that I found that was, you're not going to sit here while we're podcasting so you can see your own face. The life of a parent. I get to look at my child. I get to fix his toenail while I'm podcasting. Well, stop picking at it. Now your toe's bleeding.
So that's okay. I had to pretty much like scare the life out of my kids to get them to go to bed before I started, especially considering I was starting so early.
Okay. Well, he's supposed to be in bed, and he has an issue with biting his toenails, and now his toes are infected, and his toenails are falling off. So that's my life right now. No, okay, so back to the Godzilla topic. There was a design that I found a long time ago. I can't remember what movie it was for, but it's probably up there with Legendary. But it was like a rejected design, but I can't remember what movie it was rejected from.
Was it the Platypus Godzilla?
No. It's got
the one that was supposed to be about a TriStar. Was that the one?
Oh yeah.
Not that one. It was the can't fucking. I feel so. I'm like ashamed of myself because I should know this, and I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. But I use it a lot as a reference when I'm doing Godzilla work, or I use Legendaries a lot. I do enjoy Legendaries design. The newer one, the design for the movie that they put on Netflix for the anime, that was insane and intense.
That one is very interesting because I'm not a fan of the face, but everything else is fine. It's very G14 influenced, in my opinion.
Yeah, yes.
Very organic too.
Yeah,
very organic.
Yeah, yeah. Joey's over here messaging me. Unprepared Joey. What about you, Xander? What's your favorite design?
My favorite design, I do have to say, because I got two of them. Okay, like the first one, I had to say Godzilla 2014 because I love that lovable lizard bear. He's just so lovable. I love him. But my next one is actually, I got the figure while you guys were talking. Is this one right here? This is the NES. Let's say the NES Godzilla. With the
that game was so hard.
It was horrible. But I love the Godzilla design. So when they made a figure, I had to get it, and if you guys in the chat can answer, like, what design is that face based off of? I'm thinking 54.
It looks like a cross between 54, and 54
like 54 and like a little bit. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Because I think the Godzilla game came out like in 86 or 87, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like 84 and 54 to me.
It's awesome. I like it.
I love when they revamp him, like throughout the years you can see like his drastic changes from being more like dinosaur-like, and I swear they like take cat-like features and like stick him on his face and he looks like a panther but with scales. And
you always made me think of like a puppy dog.
Yeah.
Like when he got lighthearted, he kind of had that puppy. He had like the puppy
eyes. Like really like and I'm like he looks very animal. Like it's like not really scary, but like you're like, aw, this is terrifyingly cute, and I'm okay with it.
He's got like the pet store eyes, like
you're gonna buy me and you're gonna like it kind of thing.
What you guys did you guys get to see Justice League? What'd you think? I'm gonna start setting up the whole DC Marvel discussion.
I don't do DC movies, and I haven't seen it.
Well, she's hardcore. Damn, you're hardcore, girl. I mean, I bash DC.
The only DC movie I've seen is Suicide Squad, and that was it. It was fun. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was like, that's probably why she doesn't see any more DC movies.
I see enough memes on the Nation to know where it's gonna go. So
I'm guilty for most of them. I'm guilty for most of them.
Yeah, no, you are. You really are.
Oh my god.
There we are. Good job, bud.
I liked Justice League was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't bad either. It was a good little middle point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't yell in the mic.
I liked it. What's a monster that hasn't been used very much that you would like to see more of?
The lobster monster.
The sea monster, really?
The sea monster, yeah.
Oh my god!
I want a more modernized version.
Oh boy, my horror. All right, what about you?
What'd you say?
I want to see more Godzuki.
Oh my god, you're grounded. Go to bed.
I want to see more Godzuki in my life.
Oh, like the Space Godzilla version or the terrifying Monster Island one? Stop.
I want to see more of the one that was in what's the name of it, where he was like the baby and he was like on the tail and
that one.
The Monster Island. That's the one from Monster Island then.
Yeah, I want to see more of that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh my god, that face. Whew. Oh
yeah, I don't. I want to know the design team behind that goes, this is what's going to sell. We're going to put this in here. Sorry, I'm adjusting.
No, it's okay. So, here's another question. What's your favorite King Ghidorah design?
That one's hard. That one's tough.
The tiny ones that they use in the Mechagodzilla movie?
The Dorats?
Yeah, does that count?
Does that count? They became Ghidorah.
Because they're cute, yeah.
Mine would have to be GMK. I like GMK's Ghidorah.
I like the one in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I'm wondering if anyone's even going to know that. Because that's an old movie, dude.
Yeah, the freaking Godzilla scene with Dee Snider singing on the convertible.
Yep. Oh my god, that's awesome. I remember that. So, yeah, he runs right onto the set of a Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah movie. Oh my god, it kind of makes you wonder if Warner Brothers always had the rights, but we never knew about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question.
You know,
they're just sneaky sneaks.
Yeah. So, the one from Pee Wee Herman's. I love that answer. That was so that's completely unexpected. Hey, did you guys see the nice trophy or award that I received from Amanda and Rob?
I did. It was nice.
Oh my god, it was fantastic. The Rodan Confirmed Achievement Award. I mean, that's it. I could die tomorrow. Happy man.
At first, I thought it was a Power Scouter. At first, I was like, "Did they give him a Power Scouter to sort out all the bullshit in the nation and be like, oh?"
So here's a good question from Alan Mullins, aka Murphy Babs. He wants to know what you guys want to see in the next Godzilla movie. What's a big deal to you that you'd want to see?
Oh man, I wanna say something, but then I can't say it. So.
Uh-oh, you're going to have to now.
Can we have more Tom Hiddleston? Because that's why I went to go see Kong Skull Island. I'm not going to lie about it.
The thing of it is, you can, but it's not going to be Tom Hiddleston. It's going to be an older version.
I know he's going to be like 80 years old fighting
so
kaiju.
It might be Charles
So it's really
Dance.
not going to be as good as I want it to be. But in all seriousness, I don't know what I want, but I just want it to get here.
Yeah, I know, right? Still another
because
day.
My loins are melting into butter just knowing that this movie's around the corner.
Oh my god, that's so funny. What about you, Zan?
So the question was what do we want to see more in the next Godzilla movie?
Well, what do you want to see most? What's the most when you think about the sequel? What's the first thing that pops in your head in terms of what you want to see?
I want to see more of Godzilla's behavior. I want to see a little bit more of what exactly kind of predator he is. Maybe when he's going after other kaiju, if he's going to be like sniffing the ground to see if certain footprints, and I want to see a little bit more of like organic Godzilla, because we started seeing that a lot in Godzilla 2014. The way he acted, the way he made eye contact and did certain things. I want to see more of that.
Yeah,
in the next.
That's actually really
like the more predatory behavior.
Yeah, like what is he like? This like when he's not fighting, like what does he hunt? What does he do? Where does he go? Now that would be cool. I know for me, one thing I always imagine, and I'm probably setting myself up for disappointment, but a brother can dream. And I mentioned this on a video once. I know that Ghidorah is going to be the big, bad, end-all, be-all of this movie. And I just want the scene, when he first arrives on the scene, that I'm assuming he's going to be rather large. And you don't see him. You see his shadow in the clouds. You get a glimpse of his wing. You hear that hum that Ghidorah makes in the old movies. Not his roar. There's a certain hum he makes when he's flying around. I want to hear like a modernized version of that, but I want it to be dreadful. I want my thing I want to see is this epic hero shot of Ghidorah when he first appears on screen. And I want it to be a terrifying hero shot.
Kind of like the tail scene in the 2014 with Godzilla's tail, where you just see it swoop through the smoke and it just like whooshes and you're like, oh fuck, that guy's big.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Something where he's there, you see glimpses of him, you hear the hum when he's flying, you hear his roar sporadically, and then he comes down from the clouds into like the center of a city or something, and here's this big golden fucking dragon with 3 heads towering over the city. I just want a money shot like that. That right there would just, forget it. That would make like my dream come true. It would just be so
just imagine, dude. Imagine if it was like nighttime and there's like a thunderstorm and there's like lightning and you like see a shadow and the lightning clashes. You see like the gold scales like pan up. Oh, dude, that'd be fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I have another question here for us. Well, for you guys mainly. Here it is. Give me one second. There it is. So, Ethan, what are Olivia and Xander's thoughts on Shin Gojira?
Oh, man. Well, I got the movie from a friend of mine on a flash drive, so there's that. And we sat down and watched it. And there's a specific scene in the film where the CGI tanks, swivel around. And I think that was my point to where my value of Shin Gojira went way down. I'm not exactly sure just to give it an opinion about it, because I was one of those people that were okay, this is kind of cool. Anatomy wise, I was pissed the fuck off because as an artist, he had too small of eyes and too his body, just none of it anatomically made. Yeah, it never made any sense. None of it made sense. And who in their right mind makes eyes that small for something that large? And it doesn't make sense. It still to this day doesn't make sense. But I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoyed the Pink Floyd laser light show that went on.
Did you? My God, me and you were complete opposites.
I enjoyed the shit. The scenes with him in it were amazing. Now, the end of that movie where they were shoveling black charcoal toothpaste in his mouth to get him to go away with syringes and semi-trucks. I'm not really sure what the fuck was going on with that, but I honestly enjoyed Shin Gojira. I love the scenes and how terrifying it was, but I did not like the movie at all. If I could just have the snippets of Shin Gojira, that'd be it. But, plus it also gave me a really cute phone case from Japan of, the second evolution of Turkey Godzilla.
Every time I see that scene with Godzilla and the laser light show, I can't help but think about this song. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I know Chat can hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
It's "Breathe in the Air" by Pink Floyd.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. See, I didn't mind the design because I don't know. It was a monstrosity. I think what they were trying to go with was the whole. Let me turn this off before I get a copyright strike. But what I can't the laser light beams bothered me a lot. Like the whole, because it was just out of nowhere. It was just too much. Like, now don't get me wrong, the breath scene when he first shoots out, that was incredible. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But once they started shooting the shit out of his back and out of the mouth of his tail, then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I'll get like a little prop real quick. Okay, so I have a funny story with Shin Godzilla because I actually went to go see it in theaters, and I was working and I was out of town. I was like about an hour away, and I was racing home to try to get home enough time to see Shin Godzilla in theaters because it was for one night only. I hated all the politics that were in it.
Yeah.
The politic talk I didn't care for. The Turkey Godzilla was adorable. I love the Turkey Godzilla.
Yeah, adorable.
The part where he first did the atomic breath and they had that song playing, like that was actually pretty emotional for me. I was like, oh fuck, you know. But I mean, I saw it with a bunch of people, and like a lot of people, like they were just like, oh, you know, we're going to see Godzilla. Me on the other hand, I'm like, I gotta see Godzilla, you know. I was like very like stuck to it, and the ending where they showed his tail and it was like a person. It just makes me think of this little figurine. It was just like that's his tail. That's his tail. I was just kind of like, really? Like it was kind of cool, like how it showed like the twisted world of humanity, like made this calamity that turned into Godzilla. But that was just like you saw that and you're just kind of like, the fuck was that?
Yeah, I know. And the question is if we're going to get a follow-up to that, which I don't know if we are.
I mean, are we going to have like foot soldiers jumping off of Godzilla and fighting people like in a zombie apocalypse?
Have, like,
something?
Cloverfield monsters, like the little mites that jump off of them.
Cloverfield,
and like,
no. Did you see Paradox?
Yes, I did. I stayed up after the Super Bowl and I watched that bitch, and my boyfriend was mad at me.
I watched it too. From an individual movie standpoint, and because I love cheese and sci-fi sometimes, I was okay with the movie. In total, as far as the universe, I'm done. I don't give a fuck about Cloverfield anymore. I'm on.
I can see that.
At this point, it's like I don't even. Everybody was interested, at least as far as I can see. Everybody was interested in the Clover monster. After the first movie, people wanted a sequel. They wanted more lore behind the monster and its origins. But what we've been given since then is anything but. We got a suspense movie with aliens at the end, and then we got a space movie with interdimensional travel and a cameo from the monster, which suddenly is like 15 million miles tall, going through the clouds.
Well, I was going to say what someone in the chat, Rick, was talking about how the politics were like a parody of like the 311. I'm guessing that's like the tsunami in Japan. Like, but like I got that and I didn't mind it. It's just I felt like the politics like took away. It was too dry.
Yeah,
you know, there was parts in it was just like I felt like I was just watching on a GoPro and a hidden camera, like talks at the water cooler. Yeah. You know, it was just
that's a good way to put it.
I felt like I was a fly on the wall, and that was the part that kind of turned me off a little bit.
There was just not enough characterization. There was no one to get behind, and that's the problem.
I think for me, like I enjoyed it, and I love the Cloverfield movies, but like I got it. Like I even started digging more into like the Cloverfield stuff after I watched it, and then rewatched Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I didn't expect, like, I liked it, but I didn't really expect too much because it did come up on Netflix. And I know that sounds terrible because Netflix has come out with a lot of really good stuff that I personally enjoy. But, like, I don't really know how to put it into words because it got me talking. And if a movie can get me to talk about it a lot and actually enjoy having that conversation about the movie, then I mean that's a good movie for me. But I do have to see where you're coming from, where you could kind of get tired of the Cloverfield universe because we haven't really been given anything to make us want it more. Now we're just kind of sitting here being like, oh, another story to add to the bookshelf because now none of it makes any sense.
I've only watched the first Cloverfield movie. I didn't really watch the other ones, but since the movie's a mess anyway, let's just make it as a part of crossover of the new Roseanne reboot. That's what happened to Dan. Dan is a monster. That's the reason why he came back.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I haven't seen the new Roseanne, so I'm going to assume that it's not very good.
Yeah, I didn't see the new. I wanted to see it because I actually used to like that show when I was younger. I thought it was hilarious. It got a lot of good ratings though, and it had a huge turnout. I think they had like 18 or 19 million viewers that night, which is like for TV, that's incredible. So, but yeah. Now let me see here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody asking questions. What would you guys want to see in a sequel of Shin? Well, I definitely, I know I would like to see some answers to that tale, and I hope that he evolves into something that resembles a little bit more Godzilla and no laser light shows.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up for me. I don't want the people that are like decrepit in this tale to turn into Power Ranger putties and start terrorizing Tokyo. Like, I just don't want that. As long as they don't do that, I'm fine.
Power Ranger putties, that would be funny.
I think, like, for me, the biggest pet peeve I had of the film, beside it being terrible, was the first half an hour felt like I was watching an Instagram story. Like, if they could cut back on that would be great. Because it really felt like I was watching a Snapchat story of Japan's political issues. Yeah, and I couldn't even follow anything. I was just like, well, we haven't even been, like, centered on something for, like, at least a minute. And it was just bouncing back and forth. Yeah. But, like, Shin Gojira-wise, maybe another evolution and something that goes into the lore of him more than just being thrown this sea algae looking thing that evolves. It's what it looked like. Yeah. It looked like red sea algae that evolved into Godzilla.
So, all right. So one final question before we wrap it up. What are your thoughts on Godzilla Monster Planet?
I still need to see it. I haven't seen it yet. That's one good thing about the podcast going back. It's going to give me an excuse to watch more like movies and Netflix and stuff, because I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to put that behind. But if I know I'm going to be doing a podcast, I'm like, oh, shit, I need to catch up.
I've been binging. Like, I've never seen Twin Peaks before in my life. And I binge watched it on Netflix, watched the movie, and I'm heading into the third season. And I have a reason to continue to watch it now because I'm podcasting again. Yay! But to do like the Monster Planet, and this is the Netflix one, correct?
Yeah.
Because I sound stupid, but I can't think right now. I enjoyed it. The end of the movie itself was kind of intense. Yeah. It's not what I expected. Like, I did not expect that big of a thing to be there. Spoiler alert. But I want to know more. Like, the plots that they've put into the movie itself are interesting, but I also feel like there's agendas here that we're starting to see at the end of the movie that you want to see more of.
Right,
I agree. That's what I'm excited for the second one, because I love the direction they're taking it, and I love what they've done to Earth, like how a lot of that's changed, and it's interesting to me, and it's a different take than what I would have expected it to be. I expected there to be like more monsters, if that made any sense.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more.
Yeah, but like we only got like a couple, and then there was just like this whole it was almost not like a void feel, but it was a very like eerie, like the tone of the movie was very eerie when they get there. So like I definitely enjoyed. I definitely like it. I think it's probably up there as one of my favorites that I've seen. Yeah, and it's super kind of exciting to see it as an anime. Yeah, so that's
I agree.
Badass.
One of the things I think the biggest takeaway for me was the fact that I finally got to see a Godzilla movie where he actually won. Like, he actually took the world. Because we see in every Godzilla movie, somehow, some way, humanity finds a way to stop him. I love the fact that this time they didn't stop him. Well, not yet, assuming. But
Let's just hope they don't.
Yeah, essentially he did win. I mean, he almost wiped out humanity on his own. And that's the kind of Godzilla I like to see, something that crazy. So, all right. Well, before we go, we are going to have our two wonderful guests here let you know where you can find them and see some of their work. And Xander, we're going to start with you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people in the chat know about my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/XanderScullion. Right now, my channel is on hiatus because I'm moving. And then once I move, I'm actually changing my whole backdrop, changing everything that I'm doing. It's going to be kind of a soft channel reboot. But if you like video games, retro, modern, I've been doing a lot of modern reviews on the Nintendo Switch because I've been getting a lot of review copies for the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, you guys can check me out there. And I also have a podcast myself, Excess Gaming Podcast. So yeah, youtube.com/XanderScullion.
All right. And Olivia, I know you've a lot of your work has improved and you've done a lot of work over the last 2 years. So there's got to be something for you to promote, girl.
All right. So if you're into tattoos, that's totally me. I have a personal Facebook. You guys are more than welcome to add me on Facebook. I do have an Instagram. You can check my work out, see posts about animals. I also have a Facebook page. That's my business page. So if you want the information for that, I can post it or give it to Rob to share for you guys. I mean, if you haven't liked my business page, definitely check out my Instagram because it's honestly the first place I post my tattoo work. My Instagram name is @SwedishSwordfish. So check me out, follow me. If you like lizards, birds, axolotls, and tattoos, then I guess I'm the girl that you want to go to. So check me out.
All right. Well, listen, guys, it's been great. I want to thank you guys both for coming on. I really appreciate it. And it's great nostalgia to sit here and talk to you guys like we used to. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on.
No problem.
Definitely. I was say I wanted to show my little hand puppet before we leave. Like, yeah.
All right. You guys have a great night, and we'll definitely be talking soon because, like I said, for you guys in the chat that don't know, we will be podcasting going into the summer. We're going to start up again as soon as Xander gets himself situated. I get on a regular schedule on my channel, and Olivia hopefully will be ready by then as well.
Yep.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Woohoo!
Night, guys.
See you guys.
Say bye, chat.
See ya.
All right. Take it easy, guys.